Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Dave Neal, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Nation News, and it's our third and probably final video of the day. We have Nate from the current season of Bachelorette, not Nate from the last season of Bachelorette. Says, I'm a man that has grown. We had such a wild week with the Eric story and, of course, Nate on Nick Viall's podcast and plenty of other stories that we actually let this one fall under the radar, but our good friends over there on Patreon alerted me to the fact that Nate was on Talking It Out podcast. If you want extra bonus content, I've got hours of that available on Patreon at patreon.com/Dave Neal. So we're going to get into this story, but first, don't forget, it's Miss Jamie, who is our teacher of the day, and she's got her Amazon wish list. There'll be a link in the comment section pinned below if you want to buy any products that go directly to her and help out her classroom. Again, we've been helping dozens and dozens and dozens of teachers, and so much goodwill has been shared between you guys, so we appreciate y'all so much. So let's get into a couple of the other pieces of content that we're just going to completely breeze over. We have Jamie Lynn Spears, Kate Gosselin, and more stars test their survival skills in special forces, including Hannah Brown. That's right, Hannah Brown will be in this new TV show called Special Forces. Beverly Mitchell, one of my first crushes from Seventh Heaven. Remember the dad from Seventh Heaven? I think he's in prison. Mike Piazza, former MLB player. Dr. Drew. Anthony Scaramucci, former Trump aide. And Jamie Lynn Spears from Zoe 101, also from mooching off of her older sister, famous pop star Britney Spears. So anyway, they're all going to be in this show where I guess it's just like boot camp. I don't know. It looks like stolen valor to me, but that'll be on Fox. That's kind of a story. We'll have to see when that airs how Hannah Brown does. And of course, we glazed over that Amanda Stanton got married. She said yes, not married to the person that she actually went to jail because some sort of domestic issue. Right? Didn't that happen, Amanda Stanton? Either way, different guy. So hopefully those issues are resolved. There they are, very happy looking, and everyone else in the wedding photo looks, all the adults at least, look like they're all pregnant. The belly buttons are popping out. So anyway, happy for all of them at their wedding. And let's get into the featured story here today, which is Nate clarifying what he meant at the Mental. If you've lived under a rock, you probably missed that. Nate was exposed by a lady, I believe named Kelsey. I'm already forgetting this story. Through Reality Steve's platform. Kelsey says, hey, I dated him for a year and a half. I never knew he had a kid. And then, of course, Dustin's Nate's friend, came to his side and said, oh, Kelsey was just a party girl. Then their podcast basically got canceled. They either quit or were fired, probably fired. There's probably more to that story that we haven't read into. Maybe I know something I'm not sharing. But that podcast went down like the Titanic. No survivors. And now Nate is here to clarify what he meant after going on the Mental to discuss that he has become a changed man.
See, you were put in the hot seat. Is there anything? Yeah, it was hot. It was hot. Is there anything that was said on there that maybe you want to elaborate on, or is there something that you wish you would have said or that you didn't get a chance to say on there?
The only thing I will elaborate on, and people kind of came at me, was because I said I didn't want it to seem like the women were what I was worried about putting Mila in as far as like a dangerous situation. That was just me speaking on general terms.
I didn't think this was a big problem, but what he's referring to is when he was saying he didn't want to introduce his daughter to these other women. And people's response to that would be, it's not about introducing your daughter to them. It's about letting them know you have a daughter. You would think if you're in a relationship, you're allowed to know if the person you're seeing and investing your time in has children. I think it's okay to know that. You don't have to introduce them.
I think that was like the parent coming out and saying like, oh, I don't want my daughter in dangerous situations, but I don't think that she would have been in a dangerous situation with either of them. I just think that it just wasn't a fit for my family for what I saw. And so that's the only thing that I want to clarify. But as far as anything else that happened, I don't know. I watched it. I watched it back a couple times just to make sure like how
you look good.
I myself.
You look good,
and as far as like, I know that I'm just like extremely like, I'm so scrupulous whenever it comes to like me seeing myself on TV. I get anxiety. So I'm like, what did I do? but yeah, I think everything went over well except for that part, because I didn't want people to think anything of the individuals when it came to something being dangerous.
Yeah, have you ever fought with somebody, not physically maybe, but like an argument, and they're not hearing your critique of the issue. So then you keep on telling them, no, that ain't it. I had a fight with a buddy of mine, a good friend of mine, and he kept on not understanding what I was saying. I was saying A and he was responding with B. And I was like, you don't get it. And at some point, then it becomes like, all right, we're done rehashing it. And you're like, we're not done rehashing it because you don't even know what I'm saying. I kind of feel like that's going on here, where it's like, Nate, I think nobody's addressing the actual problem, which was that Kelsey should have been privy to the fact you had a daughter. Not whether you tell her or what. Doesn't matter that she's a party girl. How can you just date someone, go to their wedding, vacations, and just not know? Am I the lunatic here? That's like, we're not, it's like a math problem. A plus B equals 48. It's like, we're not even on the same page right now.
There was a part watching the Men Tell All and watching you in the hot seat that I smiled at. It made me really happy because we know what you've talked about, how you felt going into Men Tell All with the calls that you were getting about what was happening in social media. But more so, how did it feel that all the guys had your back, that the Bachelorettes had Gabby had your back? Like, how does that feel?
Like a mentor to them, man.
It's, I was happy to hear it, but what I thought of in the...
By the way, Gabby had his back, but they took that out of after the final rose. Added the Men Tell All. The part where Gabby sort of said, hey, the guy I met, I trust him, whatever, they took that out.
Moments where, that I'm a man that has grown. I've definitely made mistakes in my life, but the one thing that I've always said that I don't want to do is repeat past mistakes. Correct. And, our past kind of molds us into things, and some people can either take them as lessons or they can take those and then make sure that I don't make those mistakes. And as far as like helping other men not make them whenever I see that. So that's one of the main things that I was referring to when I was.
At least I give Nate credit. Because you know me, I like to look into the clues here. And at least Nate's got a ring light. You can see from the reflection of his spectacles. He's got a ring light, which is great because it obviously provides better video quality, which we can all use here. These guys, they have good lighting too. Don't get me wrong. They have nice lighting. Look, I'll be the first to tell you, even though the thing with Kelsey and all that drama happened a year ago, even though he's still recently divorced from the last couple of years, I believe that growth happens exponentially. We call it the quantum leap. As when an electron jumps from one level to another. It's called a quantum leap because you don't watch the electron move from one level to another. Boom. When you know your difference, you change. When you realize that something's ignorant or racist or horrible, when you have an epiphany that you want to be a better version of yourself, when all these things happen, they happen with quantum leaps, with these moments of enlightenment. So it could have been through public shaming. He could have already learned his lesson. Who knows? But I totally believe that people can change and change quickly when presented with a catalyst in doing so.
Saying holding people accountable because I hold myself accountable and I do it for other people. And you would do it for other people if you cared about them. You wouldn't just watch your friend walk into, a trap, it's something bad for them. So it was kind of just validating that, the man that I'm trying to be, like I'm actively working towards that and I am becoming better.
Good.
I'm not perfect. I never promulgated myself to be perfect.
No one wants that.
I'm probably still going to make mistakes, but I'm not going to make the same mistakes. And I'm not going to allow people that I care for to go down the path that I did because it wouldn't be a service to, my failures to allow that to keep happening. It wouldn't be a service to women in general to be in a world where men aren't really actively trying to make that sphere better for them.
I feel you on that. So what was it like to see Gabby again, man, after all that time? Obviously the big breakup that you guys went through. Like, what was it like seeing her again? Any butterflies, any feelings there?
Oh yeah, I was like, whoo, she looking nice. No, she looks so beautiful. It was honestly just like seeing an old friend. We had like
It was like seeing an old friend that you just hooked up with. All right, folks. Well, that's going to be it for me. If you want to check out the full episode, Talking It Out podcast, you can go catch that anywhere you want. But Nate clarifies, and I still don't think we The point of contention has been met. But at this point, I'm like, I don't care. It's a Friday, for God's sake. I have a stand-up show tonight. If you're watching this in Los Angeles and Silver Lake, it is a private show at a backyard, but it's free, and you can come if you want to go. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals to find out where that location is. And also, if you want to donate or be a part of the community, you can go to patreon.com/Dave Neal. We appreciate all of our new members out there. We got a ton of new members this week. Thank you so much for being a part of the team. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a good weekend, everybody.